Behind every wonderful series, much like Bridgerton, there are some magical moments and things that happen during the making of it. You might not notice it on the big screen, but tons of unbelievable things can happen on set and during filming of the series. And today, we're going to talk about those things. So sit back and enjoy as we talk about some of the unbelievable things that happened on set. The author of the books was a consultant. Knowing how Bridgerton is an adaptation from the famous books by Julia Quinn, she served as a consultant for the series. She stayed involved with Netflix's reimagining of her stories. However, according to her, saying she was not there to correct any mistakes happening during the adaptation, but rather to be vocal about her support of the producers in the names of Van Dusen and Rhimes, and to encourage their creative liberties from the novel's content to the big screen, the very adaptation of the series that we now know and love. Queen Charlotte, a real historical figure. Bridgerton is set in a fictional time with fictional characters, but Queen Charlotte, played by Golda Rosheuvel, is a real historical character, and it is believed that she was actually England's first monarch of mixed race. The show has been noted for its diversity, thus it does not steer clear of conversations about race and privilege. And the unbelievable thing the showrunners did is implement these kinds of characters in the show. Characters who have a lot of background and fit so well into the story, and not just put there to fill in some gaps, but rather play a significant part in the plot on a real basis nonetheless. Fans impacted Nicola Coughlan's performance. Nicola Coughlan, who plays Penelope Featherington on Bridgerton, rose to fame with her performance in Derry Girls, and while on set and filming this series, she turned her focus to the fans of the novel and to fan pages to get a better idea of what people expected from her character and how she should look portraying the role. A rather unusual thing to do, yet unbelievable thing which eventually happened, and from what we're able to see, it certainly worked, as Coughlan did a wonderful job. She brought out the best from this beloved character, who all the boys love to like. Julie Andrews' Lady Whistledown. From the very beginning, you're able to hear this familiar posh tone of Lady Whistledown's narration in the series, and it may sound familiar as it's the same person who was Mary Poppins in 1964 and the Princess Diaries series, Julie Andrews. In an interview, Queen said that she was thrilled when she heard about the casting, and that it included Julie Andrews, who'd be doing the narration. The most unbelievable thing about it is that while the cast were filming on locations across the UK, Andrews managed to do her voiceover narration from a studio in New York. This just goes to show about her dedication, talent, and her investment into the series. And if you ask Queen what Andrews is like, you might get this next response. Quote, "Everything that you think Julie Andrews is, she is." Pride and Prejudice, an inspiration for the racier moments of the show. A Regency-era centered series is bound to take inspiration from many other works of the same setting, and beside the others, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice managed to be just the inspiration Van Dusen needed for some of the racier scenes in Bridgerton. Austen's world may seem quaint to the scandal-ridden society Bridgerton possesses, but the inspiration taken is very much noticeable. One particular scene is Colin Firth and the lake from which he's coming out of with his soaking wet white shirt. An intimacy director. The debutantes of high society in the Regency era are expected to present themselves as untouched and virtuous. However, the show does not shy away from exploring characters' riotous bedroom antics. In order for the show to be very professional in every way possible, this series hired an intimacy director, Lizzie Talbot, in an attempt to create a safer, professional space for the actors during their most vulnerable on-screen moments, to direct the sexual and romantic cuts, an interesting take behind the scenes that happened during the filming of the series on set. Iconic hairstyles based on real-life celebrities. Yet another interesting thing that happened on set is the inspiration taken when the hairstyles of the series are concerned, despite the series being in Regency-era setting. Mark Filcher, the show's hair and makeup artist, decided to base Daphne's curled bangs on Audrey Hepburn's memorable look from War and Peace. Whenever he and Daphne started to do the fittings, Mark noticed her amazing eyebrows and drew the inspiration from the idea it popped into his head. Audrey Hepburn, with the reason of just how much they looked alike in the setting she was in at the time being. Beside Daphne's hairstyle, Other notable, inspired looks include Lady Featherington's updo, taken from red-headed Elizabeth Taylor, and Queen Charlotte's afro, which was based on Beyoncé's hair in Austin Powers in Goldmember. Queen Charlotte's wig. While we're at Queen Charlotte, in the series, one of the key elements of the show are the costumes and the wigs, and although most of the wigs in Bridgerton weren't heavy, the one Queen Charlotte wore to Simon and Daphne's wedding party was weighed down by the sheer amount of braids in it. The wig was so heavy, the designers were taking it off Golda's head whenever she had a break from filming. And that's not all. Outside of this wig, Golda also wore an afro that actually consisted of 5 wigs sewn together, an incredible achievement for Golda to have done while being on set. Van Dusen's idea of modern-day pop songs usage. Everyone who watched the series was treated to a combination of orchestral workings of Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams and Billie Eilish's Bad Guy, among many other well-known pop records and classical masterpieces, one of which being Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. Alexandra Pastavas, the series' music supervisor, told Entertainment Tonight that it was Van Dusen's idea on set, which put everything in motion for the molding of the genres in the show. And the end result of pop songs performed by a quartet was yet another unbelievable thing that happened on set, a thing we had no clue about until now. 6 weeks at Regency Boot Camp. The cast, together with the crew, went to a Regency boot camp, where they spent almost 6 weeks learning to ride horses, learn Regency history, etiquette, and also dancing. Put in short, they tried to get in grips with the things which define the setting of the series. This happened before filming the series, but it was still a very unbelievable thing to note, and what kind of commitment the actors had for their roles in the series. 200 people behind the scenes. First of all, bravo! The coordination must have been so hard, but they did it! Besides the ensemble of cast members, the big budget production also required a lot of hands working behind the scenes on set. According to Chris, the showrunner, the crew was made up of at least 100 people. And get this, one of the set designers took 4 months to make fireplaces and windows for the show. Meanwhile, the scenes featuring huge rainstorms were made by using sound stages so they could control the levels of rain coming down, but also the water temperature, when seen from a wider perspective, just to what extent the crew went. Yet another unbelievable thing to do on set. Cast WhatsApp group. Believe it or not, despite the series debuting just a few months ago in December 2020, the filming finished before the pandemic took over, sometime in February. So, with the pandemic striking across the world, the next time the cast would have seen each other is the virtual press day in early December. Many of the cast members, if not all of them, became best of friends while being on set, and they created a WhatsApp group with everyone in it for one reason: to stay in touch. It is just remarkable how one filming of a certain series can change your whole life around. On a related note, tell us in the comments below which of these things that happened on set surprised you the most and why. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.